Hey girls, are you tired of sex podcasts that only focus on how to please your man? Yawn. Me too. Then Sydney in the Sheets is the podcast for me and you. In every episode, Sydney Page and her friends talk about incredible ways to help you transform your life in and out of the bedroom. There's a lot of other sex podcasts out there, but they can be intimidating. However, Sydney in the Sheets feels like a real conversation between you and your besties. Not enough people are discussing how to make sex a better experience for women. Sydney in the Sheets is a sex positive podcast made by women for women. Sydney and her friends will talk about losing their virginity, body counts, purity culture, sex positions, lube, and everything in between. They'll talk about the good, the bad, the uncomfortable, the embarrassing parts of sex and relationships, because they don't think anyone should be having bad sex, and I don't either. I love this podcast because it's very transparent, it's very candid, and I love transparency, and it's just, like I said before, it's like a conversation with some besties. So like, I'm gonna be learning how to bust it wide open, and I don't feel alone because it's a sex positive podcast. So listen to Sydney in the Sheets. Follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, or wherever you can get podcasts. You can also listen ad-free by subscribing to Wandery Plus in Apple Podcasts or the Wandery app.
What's up, y'all? Do y'all want to learn a new language? Because I do. Whether it's saving more and spending less, getting organized, or losing weight, there's a lot of worthwhile goals to set for yourself this year. At the top of my list is learning a new language with Babbel. They have 15-minute lessons that make it the perfect way to learn a new language on the go. Other language learning apps use AI for their lesson plans, but Babbel lessons were created by over 100 language experts. Their teaching method has been scientifically proven to be effective. I'm telling y'all got to try this out. I'm telling you. With Babbel, you can choose from 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, and German. Oh my gosh, German! We stand. Plus, Babbel's speech recognition technology helps you to improve your pronunciation and accent. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel. In addition to lessons, you can access podcasts, games, videos, stories, and even live classes. Plus, it comes with a 20-day money-back guarantee. I'm just saying, y'all. Start your new language learning journey today with Babbel. Right now, when you purchase a 3-month Babbel subscription, you'll get an additional 3 months for free. That's 6 months, y'all, for the price of 3. Oh, yes, ma'am. Just go to babbel.com and use promo code Unfazed in all caps. That's babbel.com, code Unfazed. Babbel, language for life. Hey, I heard you are a wild one. Ooh. Hey, y'all, welcome back to Unfazed and Unbothered.
I'm Camo.
And I'm Lil Tasia. I'm Tasia.
Yeah, tasty tea on the track.
We got Tasia. Okay, I'm just going to stop right there. Today's episode is sponsored by
this pussy.
We're so excited to be back because we have a lot of tea to spill this week.
We do, and we have lots of questions to answer from the girls. I posted on my Instagram story. If you'll have any questions, then, whatever.
Get into it, yeah.
I sound a little stopped up because I got boosted. I got boosted mamas. And, it kind of like knocked me on my ass for a day. But,
I sound like that too because it's so dry in our house and like the humidifier is like not giving what it should be giving.
Oh my God. The audio, that was crazy. That scared me. Okay, so let's pause this episode and why don't y'all go leave us a review, please and thank you. We're going to start off right. Leave some reviews, mama sauces.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, we appreciate all the honest reviews because,
yes.
And I want to say this because even though like they might not always be like positive, that's okay. Because I actually saw a review and it was about me and it was basically saying like, I feel like Camo puts more work into the podcast and Tasia's just like going back and forth and like talking about like TikTok comments and stuff like that. And you know what? Like that was a very honest, cute and gorgeous review because it was honest. And we even had that conversation like where I literally said, I think I'm just burnt out, but also like these last couple of weeks when the kids are here, it's like we're having to like rush through them.
That is true. The kids were present, and that's usually not something that we're used to.
So like, I feel like when the kids are here, when we're recording, I already get high anxiety, but also like some weeks I'm just tired and like, I don't I really don't give what I should be giving. And like, I'm sorry about that. But I think that from here on out, it's going to be a lot better because also I get my license back tomorrow and like, I will be able to like drive them to and from a babysitter and like, it'll be a lot easier to kind of like maneuver around that
and
way.
Plus
like,
you'll be able to like get out, we'll be able to do things and like, you'll have like more
to talk about.
Yeah.
And also like, I feel like being in this house all the time, like it's really like affected my mental health so much. And like these last few weeks I've just been more like, you know, happier because I have more things to look forward to. Like being in this house for all this time without being able to drive and like having 2 kids, like it'll really like mess with you.
You feel trapped.
Yeah, you feel trapped. And then on top of that, like you feel like you can't really do for yourself. And like that's just not a good feeling. And so it's just going to be exciting from here on out. So we appreciate the honest reviews, even though they might be like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like it's very true.
Because the most part they're always positive, but you know, we did have a few off weeks, I'll say.
Yeah.
But you know, we've kind of recalibrated, and now we're just ready to get back into it because, you know, we did sign up for this and I feel like this is part of our purpose, like kind of piggybacking off of last week's episode. But, you know, people want to hear what we got to say, and I don't want to disappoint anybody. So we're going to really put our whole pussies into it from here on out. But before we get into the questions, has anything exciting happened over the week? You know, I like to start the girls off with like this week's juice.
The only thing exciting that's happened is because on last week's episode we were filming, I had a lot going on and like I was stressed because it has been a process trying to get like all the paperwork and stuff to get my license.
Yeah. And
basically when you make bad choices, like nobody's gonna go above and beyond for you. And like, I know that. And so it's been a process trying to get all this paperwork. And like, I was supposed to already have it back literally almost a month ago. And like, I felt like people were dragging their feet. I had to basically do their jobs for them. And they were looking for paperwork that they had right in front of their face all this time because they didn't understand what I had been saying this whole time.
And they just don't give a fuck.
No, and they just don't care. So, you know, I basically went behind their backs and called up to their facility and I was like, hey, I want you guys to know that I need an assessment from you. And it was marked back on this date and they found it. So then I contacted the person that works there and I said, hey, I found this for you. You actually had it in your file all along. But anyways, with that being said, I have everything I need to get my license. I'm going to get the interlock installed on my car. And a lot of people don't know what that is. It's basically like when you've gotten in trouble, behind a vehicle, like not behind a vehicle, but like if you've ever drank and drive, basically in order to get your license back, you have to have basically like a breathalyzer in your car, and you have to blow into it every time you get in your car or it won't start. So tomorrow, that's what I'm going to go do. And then I'm going to go to the DMV to get my license. And I'm so excited about that.
That is exciting.
Yeah. And then like, you know, the babies are with my mom until Wednesday. And so basically they're just over there so I can get everything done. And, you know, this is the last thing I have to do. And I'm just really excited. And, you know, like when you're like so excited that you're almost like nervous because like you're like, this feels so surreal. Like that's like what I'm going through. Like I'm so antsy and I just want everything to go well, and which it will.
Well, I mean, we've been let down so many times, so it's easy to be apprehensive and like be like, oh, something's gonna fuck up last minute. But I think everything's gonna go smooth. You're gonna get it back. You're gonna be driving. She's gonna be a driving mama in these streets, and it's just gonna be cute and gorgeous.
Yes, and I also want to say that like I was gonna put something on my Instagram about this. Like when you're like really like trying to be a productive member of society, like things just really start working out for you, because like I was told that it would be like $5,000 a month for SR22 insurance and all these things. And the same place that I got the interlock with, they directed me to an insurance company, and it wasn't even $1,500 for 6 months for insurance, which is cheaper than the insurance that I'm paying already. So on all 3 of the cars that we have. So it is like such a huge blessing. Like
what
so many
insurance is that, bro? Because I'm gonna need to hit them.
It's called what is it called? It's something I've never heard of before, but it's basically because the interlock in the car makes it cheaper as well. And I didn't know that. And so I guess, and it makes sense because they know that basically like you can't even get in the car if you're drinking and driving.
Okay. That kind of,
it's called sense. Like, I don't know, honestly.
We'll look at it later.
We'll look it up later. But yeah, it's like a thank you and God bless you. And they're like, I hope that's like a low enough rate. And I was like, girl.
Do y'all know the cheapest car insurance? Because my car is paid off in cash. I'm very much a cash mama. I would love to have like, you know, a nice ass, cute and gorgeous Tesla where I have a car payment, but the car payment, you have to have full coverage insurance. And I have too many expensive habits and I'm trying to save more money now. So I've always been somebody who just like, I'll get like a couple grand and buy me a car, pay it off, and I have to worry about a car payment and get the cheapest insurance. But I'll say all that to say this. I feel like my insurance is too high for me to be driving a car that's 5+ years old and that I have liability insurance. Like I don't have full coverage and my car is paid off. So
okay, well, after the episode, I'll like look up that place for you because it's full coverage and SR22 insurance, and I don't know if you know what that is, but that's like something serious. Like it should be so expensive, and I literally just paid like $1,300 something
for 6 months.
For 6 months, yes, and that is cheaper than what we already are paying, which is crazy.
I mean, I pay about $1,200 for a 6-month period, but my car is 2015 and it's paid off. So and I have liability.
Yeah.
So that's for you to have full coverage and it'd be like $100 more than.
And I was thinking it was going to be more expensive because we're financing that car.
Yeah. And both of those things make
it go up. I know.
Astronomically. So I feel like I'm being ripped off.
I know. That's what my dad said too.
Insurance? I'm coming for you bitches.
Yeah, my dad, I forgot what he has, but he was like, what? He was like, I'm pissed. I can't believe you. I'm going to call my insurance. They're ripping me off. I'm like, obviously, because this is crazy.
That is crazy. I'm going to have to look into that. But shit, this past week, the most exciting thing for me was Summer Walker. Bitch, I was living my motherfucking life. I can't okay, so I am fully obsessed with Summer Walker. One of my homegirls put me onto her in 2018 and I have been obsessed ever since. Like there's not many people in this world you will see me lose my cool over, but she is one of them. And the show was incredible. She looked so cute and gorgeous. She came out and opened up with Constant Bullshit. If you're not a Summer stan, please go stream. But that shit, like hearing it live and hearing it be like the first song, hearing that fucking oh, my audio went out. Hearing that little guitar, she was amazing. And then Saucy Santana came out. He was a guest performance and I was living for that. It was crazy because my friends that I went with were like, what if SZA comes out and does No Love with her? And I was like, SZA is not coming. And she didn't. But then Saturday, the next day, the bitch came out. I couldn't possibly think of anything that would have topped Friday except SZA coming out. Like, those are like both my queens. Like both of them, I love them so much. They are everything to me. So I would have actually shit, pissed, and projectile vomited all at the same time if they came out together. But that just didn't happen for me on Friday. But you know, it's okay. Love you, queens. Still a great show. 10 out of 10. And I really feel like, for those of you who don't know, like Summer has really talked a lot about her anxieties and like being a performer. And you know, I really respect, like, Summer Walker is a whole entity to me. Like, you know, some people may not love her music or they might think it's too melancholy and too, you know, slow tempo, but she is so much more than just music, because that bitch, like, she speaks her fucking mind. She has opinions. She, you know, like celebrities, they typically just keep their mouth shut and they don't like speak on how they feel about certain things. And like, to me, like when I see that, like I feel, and plus she's an Atlanta dolly, like I feel so connected to her in so many ways, because I'm very outspoken, she's very outspoken, and like she don't give a fuck. She does not let her status or where she's at in life really like make her. Like, she is still a human being with opinions and thoughts, and she lets people know online, and she be doing some messy, crazy shit online, but like I'm living for it, and it makes her seem like more of a real human being to me rather than just another fucking person on the radio. Like, there's so many layers to Summer Walker. I have so much respect for her, and just like the music she makes, it just really, like, she really writes on like her feelings, and like when you listen to her music, like you feel what she was, well, obviously not what she was feeling, but like even like at the end of her show, like she came out and, you know, I was like screaming in the audience. I was like, reciprocate, reciprocate, because that's my fucking song, y'all. But she came out at the very end after she performed. Look, you guys, I'm sorry that I didn't perform more songs. It's just like, honestly, still a fresh wound. Like, I'm still healing. Like, my baby's not even 1 year old. And like, it's hard to perform these songs, and like that like is so respectable to come out and like be so vulnerable with this, with an audience, especially with her being so quote unquote socially awkward and so like reserved. Like, I feel like she really was stepping out of her shell, and I'm so proud of you. I know you're probably not hearing this at all, Summer, but I am a full stan and I'm obsessed. I love you. I have so much respect for you, and great show. But that was like the pinnacle of my whole week, the peak, if you will. I'm just like reliving it in my head, and I wish I could go back.
That's so cute and gorgeous, friend.
It was, but you know what? We should go on a break because it's break time, bitches.
Okay, we'll be right back. What's up, y'all? Do y'all want to learn a new language? Because I do. Whether it's saving more and spending less, getting organized, or losing weight, there's a lot of worthwhile goals to set for yourself this year. At the top of my list is learning a new language with Babbel. And I just want to say that when I was in high school, I did German and I loved it. So anyways, they have 15-minute lessons that make it the perfect way to learn a new language on the go. And I'm ADD and anxiety, so like 15 minutes I can do. Longer than that, I might be a little worried. So this is very quick and easy, cute and gorgeous. So if you're like me, you should try it. Other language learning apps use AI for their lesson plans, but Babbel lessons were created by over 100 language experts. Their teaching method has been scientifically proven to be effective. I'm telling y'all got to try this out. I'm telling you. With Babbel, you can choose from 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, and German. Oh my gosh, German! We stand. Plus, Babbel's speech recognition technology helps you to improve your pronunciation and accent. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel. In addition to lessons, you can access podcasts, games, videos, stories, and even live classes. Plus, it comes with a 20-day money-back guarantee. I'm just saying, y'all. Start your new language learning journey today with Babbel. Right now, when you purchase a 3-month Babbel subscription, you'll get an additional 3 months for free. That's 6 months, y'all, for the price of 3. Oh, yes, ma'am. Just go to babbel.com and use promo code Unfazed in all caps. That's babbel.com, code Unfazed. Babbel, language for life. Y'all, try it out.
Hey, girly pot pies. Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. I've been using BetterHelp now for quite some time, and it's been very cute and gorgeous. It's nice to have somebody else to talk to besides just Tasia. Love you, bestals, but your girl needs therapy. So listen, if there's something preventing you from achieving your goals or something interfering with you and your happiness, check out betterhelp.com/unfazed. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist, real cute and gorgeous. You can connect in a safe and online private environment. It's so convenient. You can literally start communicating with somebody in under 48 hours. My favorite thing about BetterHelp is I don't have to deal with people. It's all mobile. It's all on my phone, no humans, thank God, because that stressed me out and gave me anxiety, okay? So listen, I want you to start living your best life, girly pot pies. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/unfazed. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's betterhelp, HELP.com/unfazed. Hey, gorgeous girls. Ooh.
You just cut me off.
I'm so sorry, bitch.
You want to fight? We're going to just answer some little questions for you girls.
Okay.
I'm excited about this.
Me too. So, where should we even start?
There's one question that stuck out to me that like I just keep thinking about because like it's so crazy that this was asked because like, you know, like when you think things in your head, but like you never say them out loud. And so anyways, Gavin and I like recently, we are switching churches because we got a new pastor and we're just going to go to a different church. And I was really kind of upset about it because I'm like, I haven't found a church that like I genuinely like connect with and feel like unjudged and like accepted. So I feel like it's going to be hard for me to switch to another church. And he was like, I'm telling you, you're going to like this one a lot more. And so anyways, we ended up not going on Sunday because we were just exhausted. So we literally slept through church. But it just like dawned on me. I was like, you know, how would we like plan on introducing religion to Greenlee and Princeton? And like, this was a question that somebody asked on your Instagram. And to be honest, like, I remember growing up and like always being forced to go to church. And so it took me years to actually want to go to church. Like literally, like I didn't start going to church like on my own free will until like this past year, last year. So maybe over a year now. And so I feel like I don't want to ever push religion on my kids. Like obviously they're going to grow up and they're going to see us go to church and they're going to, you know that we have a relationship with God and stuff like that. But am I ever going to like push it on them? No, because like I didn't like that as a kid. And I feel like it kind of like pushed me more away from God than it like did introducing me to God, if that makes sense. And like that was nobody's fault. Like I think that, you know, when you're growing up, like your parents do the best they can and like your family, like, and obviously like as a child, like they're going, you're going, you know, but like when we go to church, we do bring Greenlee to the daycare and Princeton goes, but like when they get older and they're old enough to make their own decisions, like we're going to go and they're more than welcome to go, but we're not going to be like, oh, you have to go to church. Because like, that's something that like, I would like them to make the decision on their own. And I want them to know God is on their own terms, not like who we know God as is. Like, I don't want them to view God how we view God, because I think everybody's view on God is different, if that makes sense. So I just wanted to answer that and put that out there.
Yeah, that was asked by Seth. Take a breath. I actually met him. He is so sweet and so cute. Love your aesthetic, by the way. But he also asked, he wanted to know about any of my sugar daddy experiences. So I've actually only had one quote unquote sugar daddy, and there was no real sugar, or I wasn't bopping this pussy. Let's just say that. So I don't know if I've fully told this story, but yeah. So back in 2016-ish, something like some around that era. It's 2016, 2017. This man did fly me out to LA. I had him fly me and my friend Colton at the time out to LA. We stayed in this really nice place. So he picked us up at LAX, and I had told him I wanted to go to LA. This was my first time ever going to LA. I had never been, and I really was trying to be like Miley Cyrus, hopped up the plane at LAX with a dream and a cardigan. But I get in the car and his GPS says 3 hours, and I'm like, I've never been to LA, so I was like, okay, per, LA's 3 hours away, even though it says we're in LA right now, but okay, per. Turned out we were going to Palm Springs, and for those who don't know, Palm Springs is a desert, so I'm like, okay, and I literally fell asleep in the car ride. Like, why did I fall asleep? This was my first time meeting this man. I didn't know what his true intentions were. He could have killed me, and I fell the fuck asleep. I was jet lagged. So, we pull up to this. It was something out of a movie. Like, it was the most beautiful luxe place I've ever seen. I really wish I could think of what the place was called, but they had like pictures of Frank Sinatra and like Cher staying there. It was gorgeous. Like, they had chandeliers that looked like they cost $1 million a piece, and like the place was just decorated so beautifully. And like but also like walking through the hallways was like a nightmare. Like, it felt like I was like in a nightmare. Like, and also I got out of the car, I woke up from my little nap, and it was like 117 degrees, and it was 3:00 in the morning. Bitch, when I stepped out of the motherfucking car, at this period in my life, anxiety was like kind of new to me, and so I didn't know, like, when I would have anxiety attacks, I was like, nowadays when I have anxiety, I'm like, okay, you've been here before. You're not gonna die. Like, this is how I talk myself off of a ledge. Like, you're breathing, you're not bleeding, you're not throwing up, like, you're not losing a limb. Like, calm down, breathe. But back then I didn't really have real coping mechanisms. Like, I didn't know what to do when I was having them. So I got out of the car and I immediately started like freaking out because it was so hot, but it was so dry that like it took my breath away. And anyway, so I was freaking out. The next we got into the room, it was me, Colton, and this old man. And he fucking puts his stuff on the bed with me and then leaves to go to the lobby. Bitch, I threw his shit on the other bed and I said, Colton, tonight we're cuddling. Okay, bitch, we're cuddling. So we went to sleep. The next morning, he woke us up massaging our backs and whatnot. And I'm like, no, I'm just like, I was not into that kind of stuff. I had never been around the block. I had never put myself in that type of experience. So like, I was very uncomfortable. Like I wasn't into him. I was like really only in it because I wanted, some money, girl. So, he was like touching us and like my friend was more involved in that kind of stuff. Like they were like a pro at that type of shit. And so he was like, just let him massage you, girl. I'll let him massage me, shit. And I'm like, don't touch me. I was very uncomfortable. Anyways, went showered, went to this fucking restaurant inside of the hotel, and like literally eggs and breakfast potatoes a piece was like $30-something a plate. I'm like, what the fuck? The eggs were nasty as fuck. Anyways, but he was like asking us like what we wanted to do, and it was so hot I didn't want to do anything. And I was like, where are we at? Like I thought we were going to the hills. I thought I was gonna see the Kardashians or something. No, we're literally in the desert. And long story short, I had this man cancel our reservation here and actually take me to LA. He was pissed because he lives in LA, and so he put us in this rinky-dinky ass hotel. I think it was called Hotel de Flores in Beverly Hills. Looks cute on the outside, but girls, it's a fucking roach's den on the inside. And it had like a damn window AC unit and whatnot, and like, but it was very close to Rodeo. I was walking to Rodeo every day. But we were there for like a week, and when he dropped us off, he kind of like, the first day he took us shopping, we went to the mall, got us both brand new pair of shoes, and he gave me a $500 Forever 21. I want to fucking kill myself. Ew, I literally Forever 21 disgusting trash boots. It's not because of the price, it's because of the quality. So I don't need no one being like, oh my God, he thinks he's too good for Forever 21. Bitch, I shop at Goodwill. No, it's about the quality. Anyways, so he gave me that gift card and we went shopping, cute and gorgeous. And then he dropped us off. He gave me like $200 or $300, which in LA, bitch, that shit went gone quick. Anyways, he kept telling me he was gonna take me on a date, and I'm like, okay, where's my date? Where's my date? He kept blowing me off, whatever. One of like the last days that we were there, like we had like 2 days left there. He came, took me on a date, and I'm lying. It was like 3 or 4 days before we left. He took me on a date. Anyways, he wanted to like take me to a hookah lounge. I'm like, you're like 60 years old. Can you even like breathe that shit? Like, you're probably gonna die. I was like, can you take? Oh my God, I really finessed the fuck out of this man. I was like, can you take me to Best Buy? And he was like, why do you want to go to Best Buy? And I was like, because I want to get a new lens for my camera so I can take photos for you in my outfits you bought me. And so we went to Best Buy, and he like walked away to go look at something, and I told the guy that was helping me, I went and found the most expensive goddamn lens, and I said, put that at the motherfucking register. And then I told him, I was like, me and my friend, like the plane ride was like unbearable because we didn't have music. Like, can we buy these headphones?
Stop it right now.
And he was like, how much are they, baby? And I was like, they're $50. Bitch, they were $150 a piece. They were these fucking Beats headphones. So he was like, sure. So I put both of those up at the front. Anyways, we get up to the register and they're like, your total is $900 something. And he was like, $900. And he's like, he like looked at me, and then he like looked at the guy and he goes, put those on hold. I need to have a conversation with him. And I was like, okay. But then everybody in there was like looking at us like, oh, that's a sugar baby right there. And so we left. We walked down the street to Starbucks, and he sits me down and he's like, you are so beautiful, you are so talented, and blah blah blah, but I'm getting nothing out of this, and you want to go here and go there and and I really didn't think I wanted much, because I really just wanted to go to LA. Like, I didn't ask you to take me on no lavish. He was pissed because he had like arranged us to go to Las Vegas, which he said was even hotter, and I wasn't here for that. And he like booked us to go see some show, I don't know what the fuck that is, bitch. Like, cock-a-doodle-doo, bitch. I've never heard of that shit. And he was pissed. He was like, all these tickets are non-refundable, so he lost his money at like all these anyways. But he was like, I'm willing to buy those things for you as a parting gift, and we'll just wipe our hands clean of each other, or we can like try to regain whatever he thought we had going on. And I was like, I understand, I'll take the parting gift. I swear to God. So we went back, he bought me the lens, he bought us both the headphones, and yeah, that was very cute and gorgeous. And then he gave me like $200 the last 3 or 4 days we were there. And then he gave me also his Uber information, but he was like, do not use this unless you're going to the airport. Bitch.
I would have racked it up.
We sure the fuck did. So it was bad, because I would send my friend off somewhere and I would go elsewhere. Like, I would go to fucking Santa Monica and he would go here, and he knew people there and I didn't, but I was just going all over the place. I was going to Goodwills in the hills. I was going every motherfucking where. And there was like a 2-day period where we were both like, we would see each other at the end of the night when we came home, but like me and him would go do our own thing. He'd call me, send me here, boom, type that shit in. It wasn't on my fucking dime, so I didn't give a fuck. So I was sending him, I was going places. We spent so much money on this man's Uber account. The last fucking day, I went to Goodwill somewhere, and he calls me like 3 hours before our flight, and he's like, hey, can you Uber me back to the hotel so I can get my bags before we go? I'm like, okay, So I try to Uber him back. It said that I needed to put in my debit card, and I was like, oh, let me try again. Nope. I was like, let me try to get me to the nope. This motherfucker cut me off. He cut me off, and I had no money at all. So my homegirl Orion came for me and she Ubered me back, but shout out to you for that, bitch. But that was a different time of my life. I was really broke. I had nothing to my name except that money, and also these motherfucking scammers need to stop calling me. But yes, that was the longest answer, but that was my sugar daddy experience, the only one I've ever had. Colton did end up taking me to Fort Lauderdale with his sugar daddy excursion, but yeah, that's all I know about sugar daddying. Okay, next question. Talk about your first kiss experiences. This was asked by Corey Carter. Do you remember your first kiss?
I don't.
Really?
Yeah, and I already have like short-term memory loss as it is, and like I really don't remember that. That's actually kind of weird.
See, for me, my memory is like shitty after like 2014 and ongoing, but like it feels like everything prior to that, I'm like so vivid. I know I like had like little like cheek kisses, but I wouldn't even count that. My first like real kiss was in 7th grade. I was dating this girl, Abina. Shout out to you, Abina. Very cute and gorgeous. I met up with her in the neighborhood and she kissed me, and I was like wearing this jacket with the fur hoodie. Bitch.
I think I remember that. I've seen pictures of it.
That whole period of time was a mess, but yeah, she kissed me in 7th grade. I was living for it, and then we would like kiss in the hallways after that, and people were like, he's not gay, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gay. LOL. But it was a beautiful kiss. She had really nice lips. And then like after that, the dream, you know, the American dream, shawty, you with 10. That song Purple Kisses, if you know, you know. That was our song because she always wore like grape chapstick. So anyways, Purple Kisses, shout out to you, Abina. That was our song. Okay. Whoa. Huh. Let's see. Maddie Minaj wants to know what our favorite Nicki Minaj songs are. Ooh. I don't know. I feel like the most prevalent one for me is probably Roman's Revenge or Roman's Holiday. But I can't lie. I lied. Great song.
What's the trending song on TikTok with hers?
Oh, I don't know. I know Bussin', but I really didn't like that because it was giving very much Tekashi 6ix9ine Fifi. It was literally Bussin' is literally Fifi, but Nicki Minaj, and I didn't like it. Which while we're on the topic, I'll let you find your favorite Nicki song, but I just feel like Nicki, she's so iconic. Like when it comes to her lyricism. I've always respected her, but I feel like in the last few years, maybe it's just because she's like said and done it all. Like she's just kind of gotten a little lax with her.
I think mine would be Chun-Li.
I like Chun-Li. She's just not been, she's not giving this. I don't want her to necessarily give the same energy as like the Pink Print and all that and like Pink Friday, but you know, I do miss that energy, you know, like she doesn't have to make the same sounding music, but like, you know,
we should go on a little break.
We should, and we'll figure out some next questions.
Okay, see you in a second.
Hey girls, are you tired of sex podcasts that only focus on how to please your man? Yawn. Me too. Then Sydney and the Sheets is the podcast for you. Every episode, Sydney Page and her friends talk about incredible ways to help you transform your life in and out of the bedroom. There's a lot of other podcasts out there that discuss sex, but they can be intimidating. However, Sydney and the Sheets just feels like a little chit chat, a little tea time with you and your girlfriends. Not enough people talk about how to make sex a better experience for women. However, Sydney and the Sheets is a sex-positive podcast made for women by women. Sydney and her friends will talk about losing their virginity, body count, purity culture, sex positions, lube, and everything in between. They'll talk about the good, the bad, the uncomfortable, and all the embarrassing parts of sex and relationships because they don't think anyone should be having bad sex. Tea and crumpets, girl. My favorite thing about this podcast is how candid and honest and open it is. I love listening to podcasts where I feel like I'm just listening to real people tell real stories. I don't like the fabrications a lot of these shows be doing. So anyways, if you like, you know, learning about sex and how to improve it, then listen to Sydney in the Sheets. To listen, follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, or wherever you can get podcasts. You can listen ad-free by subscribing to Wandery Plus in Apple Podcast or the Wandery app. Okay, back girls. So this is going to be very exciting because somebody asked me to do a tarot reading on Tasia. I'm trying to. Okay, it was asked by MG Burns 1. Do a tarot reading on Tasia. Now Tasia is trembling in her boots right now because she has never had a tarot reading ever. So I was just reassuring her this is not like palm reading. This is not anything like that. So full disclaimer. When I do my tarot readings, I tell all the girls I am not a trained professional. And that's why I don't charge much at all when I do my readings. Also, if you ever are dealing with a spiritual advisor or anyone who does like any type of spiritual work and they tell you like, oh, you have to do this, or you need to come back to me, or only I can free you from the shackles. That is scammy behavior, and they are just scamming the fuck out of you. So when I do my readings, basically I'll just ask you to, well, I usually do them over the internet, so I don't necessarily do this part, but I would just ask you to think on like maybe what you want some clarity on, what you want some insight on, or like any problems you may have. Don't tell me, just think about it, meditate on it. Okay. And I'm going to shuffle my cards. So I'm going to turn my mic off. So when I do my readings, so for those who don't know, there are 78 or 72, depending on the decks, but most decks are 78 cards. Every card has a different meaning, upright and reverse. So that's like so much information to remember, and I'm not a professional like I've said before, so I do use this book. This is a great book. I love the Tarot for Self-Care. how to use tarot to manifest your best self. So I do like to read from my book on each card just so I feel like I'm giving the most accurate and educated reading. Okay, so the first card I pulled from Miss Tasia was the Wheel of Fortune reversed. I'm going to cut right to the chase. The Wheel of Fortune in this position can indicate that bad luck may be on its way. Never fear. Contrary to what you may assume, there are absolutely no negative cards in tarot. I try to tell you that. Cards that seem negative can actually be blessings. If you heed their warning, you can prepare yourself for what's coming, or even avoid a disaster altogether. The Wheel of Fortune reversed is a warning sign to get moving. Have you been stagnant in some way? You haven't been able to really go anywhere. You've been kind of trapped. Maybe your love life has been rather blah lately. Just take what resonates. It's not going to always be like,
yeah.
You know, spice things up. Do whatever you feel, or do what you have to do to shake the cobwebs away and wake yourself up. When the Wheel of Fortune shows up reversed during a reading, searching for a yes or no answer, it's definitely a negative answer. In fact, this is a tarot deck's way of saying absolutely no. So I don't know what you were thinking about, but no.
Absolutely no?
Absolutely not. No.
I wasn't, so that's weird.
Okay. Well, moving on. The second card I pulled for you was the Page of Pentacles upright, which page cards are like messengers. So the Page of Pentacles symbolizes a person who is eager to learn how to capitalize on their talents, full of fresh, innovative energy. The Page of Pentacles is a natural visionary. When this card comes forward in a reading, it can be a sign that you are full of innate potential waiting to be explored. So get to it. Sometimes the Page of Pentacles also indicates a new lucrative financial opportunity is on the horizon. Have you recently been offered a promotion at a job? Maybe you're debating the pros and cons of an investment opportunity. If so, the Page of Pentacles is a positive sign. Okay, so
why is it messing with me?
I don't know. This is the weirdest shit, y'all. Y'all are seeing this like happen live. We've never had this happen.
How much you want to bet as soon as we stop doing it, it'll stop?
I know. That's so weird. Maybe it's like Spirit's upset because like I don't know. Maybe like it didn't want me to do this on the podcast, but I'm sorry. I mean, tarot reading, people do it. It's been happening since the beginning of time. Okay, so yeah, so if there's something that you're like thinking about investing in, or like some type of opportunity, take it and shoot for the stars. Oh my God, I'm so annoyed. We're gonna pause for a second, y'all. Okay, I don't know what that was all about, but it was, I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of weird because, you know, it's not really done that ever while we've been on air. But yeah, basically the last card was the Page of Pentacles, and it's a good card to be pulled. It's basically saying shoot for the stars. You know, if you have this idea or there's an opportunity or there's an investment opportunity, take it because it's going to be good in your favor. Okay, so the last card is the Ten of Swords, which I know is kind of like but you're a strong individual, so don't fret. The Ten of Swords upright symbolizes an intense, dramatic twist of fate. This comes in the form of unexpected betrayal, the ending of a close relationship, or the sudden unforeseen shift in your life. No matter what specific event this card is referring to in your life, there is an element of finality to it. The past is over. Now, don't think necessarily like, oh, this means my relationship, or this means this friendship is done. Like that, I mean, you are kind of putting your past behind you. You went to prison, like you DUIs, like you had your ups and downs with your behavior, and now you're getting it together. So this is basically saying like all that is kind of coming to an end. Allow yourself to fully process the ending that you're experiencing.
This is so crazy too, because like I literally was just saying like I feel like being that I'm getting my license, like I'm starting a new chapter and like putting all that behind me, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like crazy that you say that.
Yeah, but and that's really what's going on. Don't spend too much time dwelling. Grow from this experience and take stock of all the positives in your life. So while, this card summed up, it means like, fuck, there's like all this shit is happening, or maybe some unexpected fate. At the end of the day, there's a lot of things to be grateful for. There's a lot of positivity, and especially with this page of Pentacles present. So there y'all have it. I did that reading, and of course, now that reading is done, it stopped doing that.
Yeah, that's so weird.
That was very weird. Usually when I do my readings on my girlies, like I kind of summarize all the cards and kind of make assumptions and whatnot. So like if you do want a reading, hit me up on Instagram DMs. But let's answer some more questions. That was so eventful and took so much time. That was stressful. I don't know why. That was so weird, y'all. Like, why the fuck did it do that? Like, we've had this equipment since we started the podcast, and like
it's never done that.
It's had like a few like interruptions, but not for 10 minutes straight. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Moneva .s wants to know.
Me or you?
Both of us.
I would definitely say I see myself owning a business.
Okay.
And obviously, like in a few months, I'll be in a house and stuff like that. But I definitely see myself being a business owner.
A business owner. You
Yes.
have those ideas. Shoot for the stars.
A business owner, and let's see. I want to be, I don't know what the right word would be, like a voice for other people. Like I've always said, like there's a reason why like I went through what I went through, and I think like not prison reform, but like going around to people in jails or prisons or whatever, or just like anybody that's battling through addiction and stuff like that, and kind of like being a voice, because I like to help people. Like that's one thing that I do like, is I like helping other people. And so I want to do something like that. And then obviously, what else? That's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, I think that the podcast is a great start for that. Not us wrapping up that question at 336, my angel number 36, my new tattoo perm. I think the podcast is a great start for you to like do that, because we are talking, we're giving advice, and we're, like even in the reviews, we're getting to know people. People interact with us all the time. So you're kind of getting like a gauge. This is like a rough draft. And that's why, some people have recently been like, y'all are getting lazy, or this is just like not the best quality. We're not professionals. We're learning. Like,
and honestly, you guys, like, I feel like there's been times where I'm still learning to become like super vulnerable in my life. And I know that what you're thinking, like you're so honest on TikTok and stuff like that. Yes, I am. But like, it's different coming on a podcast and like you guys kind of like knowing what's going on in our day-to-day lives and stuff like that. But like over the past year, I was pregnant with Princeton, and then having Princeton and going through like the hormones, and then like also like being cooped up in the house all the time, not being able to do for myself, not being able to drive. Like it's been a lot on my mental health. And like, I'm just now getting to a point where like Camo was just talking about, like things are fixing to be put in the past. And, like I'm getting my license, I'm able to do for myself. I'm able to feel better about myself. Like I really haven't felt the best about myself lately. Especially because, like I said, like being pregnant, the hormones, having your baby, going through postpartum. And then, also Cam doesn't live close to me. So like he's having to like take time out of his day, drive here, which
I don't mind doing,
and drive all the way back home. And so it's a lot for us to be able to do this. And I know some people are like, well, you wanted to do a podcast. Y'all, this was what y'all wanted to do and blah, blah, blah. Yes, we did. And we're very thankful for the opportunity, and we love doing this, but like it does take a lot of work. And I think that at first, we were like, oh, we got the hang of this. Like it's going to be so easy. It's going to be so fun. And then
maintaining that energy.
Yeah. Maintaining that energy. It's very hard. And so I've also like had to like really like do a lot of praying and stuff like that, because I don't want to be lazy. Like I hate feeling lazy, and I feel like I've been more ready to do the podcast, but also like I'm gonna have more time to do it, because I know that if I have a day where we have to record, okay, cool. I can just simply get the kids, drive them over to the sitter's house and come back versus my mom having to pick them up 2 nights in advance because she can't make it here the day before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then also having mom guilt because I'm home by myself, and I'm not even recording until 2 days later. Like, it is a struggle, but like we're learning and we're growing and we're just kind of like growing while doing the podcast. And so now, like, I think that we've gotten the hang of it. We're more confident when we do it, and we're just, I feel like people don't understand that, Like, it's like, think about starting like a new job and like not really getting the hang of it until like months later. I feel like that's where we're at,
Yeah, because I mean, especially like right when we first started, like I feel like the first episode, like whatever, but like we started really brainstorming ideas because like we did have a lot to talk about, but we've kind of like went over most of like our lives. Like, we've not shared every single situation that's happened to us, but like some really big significant things, and those really knocked out some really good episodes, and we really were able to be vulnerable, but like maintaining that energy, it became a struggle. So we did take those reviews into consideration, and we have been brainstorming and we have been thinking. I have some ideas for some exciting shows coming, but yeah, we're learning as we go. We're not perfect. Like, who knows? Like, if that's what you want to do, like, shoot for the fucking stars. Like, if you want to go to prisons and like go do shows where you come out and you're a guest speaker, or like that's very helpful. People resonate with that, and especially because you have that testimony, you are living proof that there is life after being fucked up. And so,
but I also like want to like make it clear that like I feel like I never want people to get this idea that just because like you're sober or just because you might be living a certain life that like you still don't make mistakes and you're this perfect person, because like, one, I'm far from being perfect. Like, obviously I'm human, and there's been times where like I've made mistakes and I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still learning, like I'm still young and I'm still growing. And so if I was to do that, I want to also make it known that like, it's okay to like fail at times, and it's okay to like keep moving forward after you make those same failures. Because I also want to say that like, a lot of the times, like in my past, I would keep making bad decisions because I was so ashamed of like the choices that I'd made, and like the guilt just like kept bringing me down. But like the reason why like I feel like I've gotten so much closer with God is because like when you make a mistake as a human being, because obviously like we're humans, we sin every day. I used to have this like vision of like God was mad at me because I was making those terrible choices, even though they're terrible to me. Everybody makes bad choices, you know what I'm saying? And so it's never like, oh, God's mad at you. It's more like, it's okay, you're human. I knew that you were going to sin, and it's okay, just make better choices and move forward. And I want to make that known loud and clear, because the shame and guilt was what kept me making the dumbest decisions years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so like you were like, fuck, I'm a piece of shit, so let me self-medicate.
Right. And I feel like that's something that's like people struggle with every day. Like, I know a lot of people that are like that. Like I have a friend of mine who guilt and shame drag her down, and she cannot be the best version of herself because she allows it to affect her mind, affect her life, and she thinks negatively about herself because her mind's telling her negative things. Your mind is a liar. What your mind thinks half the time, it's not true. It's fear.
It's the devil.
Yeah, it's fear and anxiety, and the devil will do that to you. And like sometimes I have to tell myself out loud, they're just thoughts. They'll pass. You know what I'm saying?
But
like,
also training yourself to have a more positive mindset, like the whole motto, fake it till you make it. Like,
very true.
Very true. Like you've said in the past, you don't want to get on TikTok and see people like mopey and whatnot. I know you in real life. I know you have those days.
Yeah.
But you don't show that.
Right.
Fake it till you make it.
Right.
Just a whole, it's a big example of that. Like confidence. Like people have asked in the past, where do you get confidence from? Fake it till you make it. Like,
yeah.
I've not always been super confident, and I do have my days. You have your days where we feel like shit. I hate myself. I look in the mirror. I want to die. But at the end of the day, like, I know that there's people who count on us. There's people who care about us. And I feel like we have purpose is much bigger than us. And, you know, so put on a smile and share positivity. And even if like in the beginning, like if, you know, I've had periods where I was just so down in the dumps and like I really was like, fuck life, like I'm over this. And then I had to like really get in my mind and be like, look in the mirror, you're that bitch. I'm the baddest bitch on the block. I can do this. I have this. I can do that. Like I'm capable of this. And even if I didn't fully believe the words coming out of my mouth, if you kept, you know, keep practicing those affirmations over time, you'll be like, you know what? I'm starting to really feel like that bitch. Like you really start believing your own words. Because if you're in your mind constantly telling yourself, oh, I'm a stupid bitch, I have a fucked up past, I'm a fat ass, or whatever it is that you're telling yourself in your head, that why you're not good enough or why you can't do this or go there, literally you're keeping yourself in a box. You're keeping yourself, because if you're telling yourself, you're not going to aim for higher, you're not going to try harder, you're just going to be content and be like, you know what, you're right, I am right, like I'm just a piece of shit. But if you're telling yourself, even if it's fake it till you make it, oh, I'm capable, you might start, you know, making those baby steps to get out of that thinking. And then once your mindset is everything, literally everything. So don't be hard on yourself, no matter what circumstances you are in. It's okay. But fuck, for me in 10 years, I really want to be just fully immersed in music. Like, you know, I really love doing social media, and I do love
but you
the
are
podcast.
more of like, music is like something that's your passion.
That's how that has been my biggest coping mechanism since I was a child. Like, when I'm frustrated, I like to write. Like when I would get in fights with my mom, like I would go to my room and I would write up like these grand apologies on paper. Like I've always loved to write. In middle school, I used to write I had composition notebooks full of this whole series I made about E.T. abducting me. And like, it was so weird. If y'all remember, if you were there for that era. But I've always loved to write. Like, music is so much harder than anyone can ever imagine. Like, to be the writer, to be the artist, to be the performer, all of those things, and to have the look, like, it requires so much to be a real, like, musician, a well-respected musician, I'll say. There's a lot of good people out there that don't get the recognition they deserve, but you have to have all the fucking cards, unfortunately. So it's a lot of pressure, but you know, I really want to, whether it be this year, or I need to really get on top of what I want to do in life. Like I know I'm my worst enemy, because I procrastinate a lot, and I really am lazy. Like I'm gonna be real, like I'm lazy as fuck. I have all these passions and all these desires, and
I really think that there's a different word to use other than lazy. Like I genuinely believe, like I'm not a psychiatrist, but you have the same thing that I was going through before I was on medication. It is physically like it's a mental health condition to like feel that way.
It feels like there's so many roadblocks. Like I really should get motivated. Get medicated.
Because I'm telling you, before I was on medication, I was the same way. And like now, like I'm a completely different person on medication. Like I can get up every day and clean. I'm OCD about cleaning. Everything has to be clean. Before I did not care. Like I had motivation. I could look forward to the future. Back then I'm like, oh gosh, I can't see myself in 2 days. Yeah. Like that's not normal. So like lazy, I wouldn't say lazy. I would say more of like you have some kind of mental health condition and you really need to be seen about it, you know?
And that right there, like I am a big procrastinator. Like I think we've been talking all year on the podcast about me going and getting treatment, and I have not. Like I'm literally my worst enemy. I'm failing myself as we speak, but I need to go get medicated because I feel like that really would be beneficial to like my productivity and my efficiency. But I do want to, I really in 10 years, I want to be financially secure, and I want to be able to just make real money moves, like buy a house, go and buy a car off the lot. I want to be able to take care of my family. I want to be able to, do the things that no one in my family has ever been able to do. And I really, whether I'm like fully on stage performing or if I'm writing for some other people behind the scenes, like I want to do it all. Like, and I do want to have, some cameos in movies. I was a thespian in high school. I did 5 plays. I love theater. I love performing. I love putting on a show. But it's like my biggest dream, but it's also my biggest fear. And I feel like that's how I relate so much with Summer Walker, is because I can tell like that is her biggest dream, but it's also her biggest fear, not being good enough. And also have this fear of like, what if I become so good at something and people think this? Like, it's a lot, but all in all, I want to be making music because I have been writing music since I was a little kid. There was another question though. That was a good one.
I also like, I want to find like a passion. Like I genuinely think that my passion is like helping other people, but like I want to do it in like more of a productive way. Like that's why like I always say stuff about like the prisons and stuff like that. But like, I don't really know if that's exactly like what I mean. Like, do I want to be a motivational speaker? I don't really know. But do I want to give back in some way or another with basically the same people that I am or once was? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what that is yet. But I do know that obviously like it'll take time. Like, I think even when I was in prison, I was like praying, like, what is my purpose? Like, what am I going to do? And then like I got out and like was blessed with all these blessings and I'm able to like take care of myself. And I don't really know. It's definitely like it's hard to figure out like what your purpose is. So you really have to like meditate over it, like pray over it.
Meditate on it, but also just take it one day at a time.
Right.
Okay, so this one is literally jumping ship, completely different than the last question. I don't know how open you want to be. The look up was all I needed to know.
I was looking at my lashes in this camera and I took a picture so I could see what they look like.
Okay, so Miss Haley _ Sawyers asked, have you ever did the nasty in a public area?
Absolutely, many times.
Yes. So I don't know if you want to share any of those, but I have been wanting to share this story. So my outdoors sexual experience, I took my ex to Fort Yargo. If you're a Winder girly, you know what I'm talking about. And there is this part of the park that's got this, the Wildlife Center, that's what they call it. And it's like a gazebo. It's got some taxidermied animals. And then there's a dock. But there is this like brick wall that kind of blocks the view of the dock from the gazebo-y Wildlife Center and the parking lot. You can't really see the dock, but it's down there. Anyways, so I took him down there under the moonlight. It was very romantic. And he was clapping these cheeks. And why I have done things out in public many a times, but this particular instance, why did I decide to get butt ass naked, like socks off, underwear off, everything? And so we're doing the deed and I hear a noise and I'm like, oh my God, I think somebody's coming. He's like, you're tripping. Whatever. We proceed. Again, I hear a noise. You're tripping. Boom. The lights in the fucking Wildlife Center pop on. Oh my God, I'm freaking the fuck out. And then all of a sudden I see this flashlight looking around and I hear this woman's voice. Where are y'all? I know you're down there somewhere. I'm gonna find you. Yep. I swear to God. And so I am rushing so quick to put my clothing on, and I always wear skinny jeans. So long story short, I put my pants on inside out, threw my socks on, everything. My hair was so fucked up looking. I go run around the fucking, that big ass wall, and here we go again. Okay, so I'm like, hey, ma'am, how are ya? And she's like, what are you doing here? It's past, the park is closed. What are you doing? I could give you a ticket for being in the park. And I was like parked all fucked up because like no one was there. So I wasn't even parked in a parking spot. I just like pulled in and whatever. And she's like, I can give you a ticket for this and that. But Let me tell y'all something. Play dumb. Always play dumb. If there's one thing you take from me, play dumb as fuck. I have literally gotten myself out of trouble countless times playing dumb. And so this one was like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I know you'll have a camping portion of the park. So like, I thought that the park was like always open. Like, I'm so sorry, silly me. Like, I will get out of your hair. I will get out of here. Please, no tickets necessary. Blah, say blah. And she's like, well, what are you doing here? And I was like, oh, you know, my friend, he just flew in from out of state. And I was kind of showing him my favorite places. And I love Fort Yargo so much. So I was just kind of showing him my favorite places to hang. And she was like, what the fuck? Like, you could tell that she knew there was some funny business going on because my pants were inside out and my hair was all over the place. But
Prove it.
then out came my man. She didn't see nothing. So she really couldn't prove anything. And plus it was like 11 p.m. So like no one saw us or could have seen us. So yeah, she kicked us out and we left and she didn't give us no tickets and that was that. But yeah, there's like an element of like, oh, we could get caught that is like very hot about doing the do out and about. Like me and that particular ex, literally everywhere we went, we was boom, like every fucking where. It didn't matter. Like there was one time we were in the back of a motherfucking movie theater. It was broad motherfucking daylight. He was like standing outside of the car and I had my legs outside of the fucking back seat. The door was wide open. He was just ramming me, girl. And oh my God, I'm sharing too much, y'all. One time we were at his fucking work and like he like worked in this like place where he like delivered water. And his boss, like the place was set up in like a house type of setting. It was weird. Like their office was like literally a house. But it was like a workhouse. Like nobody lived there. And so his boss like would leave after, you know, the day was over and like would never come back. Well, anyways, he would take me there sometimes and boom, 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 boom. But this one day we went over there on like at the end of his shift and his boss was gone for the day. Well, we're like, there's like a couch lounge area and we're on the couch just, you know, and I hear keys rattling at the door and I pulled my pants up. I learned my lesson the first time. Don't get butt ass naked. I pull my pants up so quick and fall in the floor where I'm out of the view sight. And his boss comes in and he's like, hey, what you doing here? You scared me. And he's like, oh, I just came to eat some lunch real quick. Oh, I'm about to leave. And I was like hiding in the floor like I wasn't there. Girl, we looked so guilty, but I don't think he saw me because I was literally like tucked away out of view and he just came and grabbed something and left. But that element of like I could get caught up, there's just something so hot about it. Like I don't just really tickles my pussy.
Period power.
We're going to answer maybe one more question because the technical difficulties, I'm sure y'all are so tired of hearing all the feedback. Have you been watching Euphoria?
Yes.
So Red Running to Water. Interesting name. She just said Euphoria. No question, just Euphoria. I am obsessed with Euphoria.
It's very
obsessed.
Good. It's like very thought out. Like they really did a good job on it. I love it. But my ADHD, like I haven't been able to like sit thoroughly and like watch a few episodes. Like I have to like slowly watch an episode at a time.
Okay.
That like I don't know. It's like slowly gotten worse as I've gotten older. But also like even like when I get time to myself, I'm like usually like sitting in silence. But I do love it, and I'm also watching Revenge. It's an older show. I don't
know what that is.
It's very good. It's an older show.
So I actually just this year became like a showgirl. Like I've always been a go type of person. Like I'm always out of the house, always doing something. And I've not, like, you live far. Trent moved to LA, which, by the way, there's no drama, no beef. So stop fucking coming in my goddamn live and stirring the pot and going in his live. I'm like, what's the tea on you and Camo? There is no tea. That's the motherfucking tea. Still besties. We talk every day. And anyways, so he moved to LA. You're far. My other friends work all the time. And so I've just been by myself a lot in the past 2 months. And so I did get subscriptions to like literally all the fucking shit. I hate that we have to have like fucking 10 different subscriptions to watch shit.
Period.
But
period power. Sorry, I'm getting a little antsy.
But Euphoria is euphoric.
It
like
is.
I love it so much. I love how they.
Yeah.
This shit is pissing me off.
Friend, I'm about to scream.
Me fucking too, bitch.
Okay, so we should just go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah, you know what?
And we love y'all so much.
We love y'all so much. We'll pick up on some of these questions next week.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.